Right now on Justice.
Drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes.
Getting personal with the frontrunner. I sit down with Donald Trump as he talks about his wife, his kids, and of course his vision for America that has everyone talking.
Do you have any doubt that I will get them to pay for the wall? They will pay for the wall.
Unfiltered and unapologetic.
He apologized like a little baby, like a disgusting little weak, pathetic baby.
My one-on-one with Donald Trump starts now. Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. We're months into the presidential election cycle, and despite his critics, Donald Trump still maintains a double-digit lead over the big field of Republican competitors, and he's showing no sign of going away. I sat down with the GOP frontrunner at Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue in New York City. And in the interest of full disclosure, Donald and I have been friends for many years. He's even donated to some of my past campaigns. But this interview was about policy, although I did get him to open up about some aspects of his personal life that I think you're going to find very interesting. Donald, thanks so much for doing this. I want to start with that first question of the Fox debate, where you were pretty much put at odds with a Republican primary audience when they asked if you would run as a third-party candidate. But you had said that because you wanted leverage with the Republican National Committee if they didn't treat you well. Are they now treating you with respect?
Well, you know, I'm number one in every poll. Florida just came in. I'm number one in Florida and Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina, and every place. Texas just came in. I'm number one in Texas. And number one nationally in every poll. And honestly, they are treating me very nicely. They've been very nice. And I keep a door open because if I'm not treated fairly, I don't care about nice. I have to be treated fairly. If I'm not treated fairly, Jeanine, I maybe would do something, but it's certainly nothing I want to do. I want to run as a Republican. I want to win the nomination. I want to beat Hillary or whoever is going to be running. I'm not so sure it's going to be her.
Right.
But whoever it is, I want to win.
All right, let's talk immigration. Now, you started a firestorm with the sanctuary city stuff and the illegals, and now you've got another firestorm with the birthright citizenship and the anchor babies. Now, the problem is going forward in 2016, we're going to have almost 20% more Latino voters, and, you know, you say that they love you.
They do. The polls are coming out that they love me, and because I'm going to create jobs. You know, it's a very interesting thing with the Hispanics. You saw that in Nevada, I won big with the Hispanics. Yeah. And I have a great relationship. I have thousands of Hispanics that work for me, and tens of thousands over the years. Mexicans, I love them. They're incredible people. But, you know, so many of them agree with me because they've come into the country legally. It's taken them time, it's taken them effort, and they don't want illegals pouring into the country. It's no good for them either.
Well, right, but 76% of the independents say that your plan to deport everybody who's here illegally is over the top. Will you change your strategy going forward once you're out of the primary to kind of satisfy that more
Jeanine,
left?
You either have a country or you don't. You can't have everybody pouring into the country illegally. We don't know what we're doing at the border. We have a president that doesn't have a clue, and they're just pouring in. You know, we have incredible Border Patrol people. They can stop it immediately, but they're told not to. People are walking right in front of them and just walking into the country. You can't have it. So you either have a country or you don't have a country. We're going to build a wall. It's going to be a great wall.
Mexico to pay for that
Mexico's going to pay for it.
How?
Because they're making a fortune. Mexico.
Do
you know that Nabisco just announced they're closing a big plant in Chicago? Nabisco, Oreos. You eat Oreos, I eat Oreos.
Used to.
I might not anymore.
Right.
But Nabisco is moving their plant to Mexico. How is that? Ford is building a massive plant in Mexico.
But how can you get Mexico to pay?
It's called negotiation. Now, a politician can't do it because they don't have a clue. They're all saying, you can't get them. Do you have any doubt that I will get them to pay for the wall? They will pay for the wall.
Donald, I know you 25 years, and I know you.
You've seen a lot.
Yes, I've seen a lot. And in the interest of full disclosure, I mean, we've been friends for a long time.
It's true.
But, you know, your move to the right is, you know, it's scaring a lot of the Republicans. But
I don't think so, Jeanine. You know, if you look at what, in fact, I was called by the New York Times today. They're doing a story. I'm getting from everybody. I'm actually taking a lot from Democrats in the overall poll. You see, I'm virtually tied with Hillary Clinton now and leading the Republicans in that respect. And, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see. I've seen your piece on Hillary, and she's got some big problems, but we'll see what happens. But we're doing really well, and we're drawing from everywhere. We have the Tea Party, which I love, by the way. These are great people. We have really everybody, and they're surprised because they thought it would be more from the Tea Party. But it is the Tea Party, but it's everybody straight across the board. So, you know, it's resonating.
It is resonating, and in fact, you're going to be on the cover of Time magazine. I mean, are you surprised at how this whole thing has caught fire?
Well, I think the people of the country are tired of being ripped off by you know, politicians that don't know what they're doing. They're there for one reason, that's to get reelected. And they don't want to be taken advantage of by China, I mean, you look at every country, Mexico, both at the border and trade, Japan, they sell cars by the millions, and we give them practically nothing, the trade imbalance. You look at what's going on in Vietnam now. Vietnam is a big it's all a one-sided deal. Okay. I'll bring in Carl Icahn. I'll bring in friends of mine that are the greatest negotiators in the world. It's not going to happen. It won't happen for much longer, believe me.
All right. And by the way,
so I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, but are you concerned about the Jorge Ramoses from Univision who trash you on a regular basis as it relates to your immigration?
Well, I'm suing Univision for $500 million, and part of that is some of the things he said. But, you know, I'm suing them because what they did was an incredible thing. It's so stupid. You know, I'm a very good person with a contract. They violated a contract so badly that I had with Univision, and I'm suing them for $500 million. So Jorge Ramos is going to pay a big price.
Okay, let's talk about Iraq and the oil. You say that you would actually go in there and bomb the Iraq oil fields, and in order to strike ISIS. Is that true?
To say it a little differently, look. Okay. ISIS has become very rich. A big part of that is oil. Right. They've taken the oil that we should have taken. Okay, I said you shouldn't have ever gone into Iraq, and I've said that in 2004, 2003. You should never go into Iraq. I was always against going into Iraq because you're going to destabilize the Middle East, which is exactly. Then I said, if that happens, and you have to look it up, Reuters, 2004 in July. I said, if that happens, and you know, look, it's a horrible thing we did, but I'm proud of the fact that I had the vision to say it. If that happens, Iran will take over Iraq, which is happening, and somebody will take over the oil, probably Iran and other people. Who's the other group? It's ISIS. I say we have to get ISIS where the money is. Where the money is, they took over the oil. We should have kept the oil.
But here's the problem. You've got the outgoing Joint Chiefs, Martin Dempsey, who says it's going to take 20 years. Don't you think he's got a sense of...
Martin Dempsey is not exactly George Patton. Okay, Martin Dempsey is not exactly, let's say, General Douglas MacArthur. I heard him. If you listen to him, we're going to lose to ISIS. All right? Now, we are going to be very strong. If I win, our military is going to be very strong. Our vets are going to be taken care of, which they're not now. They're treated like third-class citizens, and we're going to be a great country again.
Let me ask you about the Washington Post likening you to Putin. You know, pretty much based on the fact that you're wealthy, and they talk about an ego, you know, because you say you want to make the country great again. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that Putin, frankly, is somebody I'd actually get along with. I get a lot of heat for that. I say that. But I actually think I'd get along. You know, I had a big event in Moscow about 2 years ago. I think I'd actually have a very good relationship with Putin. It's ridiculous what's happening. He hates Obama, cannot stand him, and I think Obama probably can't stand him either. But the relationships that we have all throughout the world, not only with Russia, but with everybody, is terrible. You know the amazing thing? China can't stand us, and yet they're making a fortune with us. Japan can't. And nobody likes us. And yet they're all taking advantage. We're like the big bully that loses all the time.
Well, then the problem is we're really a paper tiger. But let's talk about the campaign. And you're new to politics, Donald, but the truth is that you are so on message. You are so into branding your message, make America great again. Your hats are selling out. You know, where did you learn this discipline?
I guess it's an instinct I have, but the real instinct is I know what it takes to make the country great, and people understand. You know, the public's really smart. They understand it. When the politicians, Hillary makes a mistake, they go back to their pollsters and they say, what did we say wrong? When Jeb Bush says that he's not going to help women on women's health issues, I say, I can't believe he just said that. Then they come back 3 hours later, he said he misspoke. Yeah, the word he used, he misspoke.
A little too often.
I mean, he's doing it all the time. They go back to their pollsters. I say it like it is. And you know what? Sometimes I say it and I say, this isn't going to be good to say, and I know that, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's the truth. And I think people want to hear the truth.
Well, clearly, and it's reflected in the numbers. But let's talk about the way that you're campaigning. You're putting ads on social media, Instagram. You go after Hillary, and you know, it's a different kind of campaign. Did you come up with that yourself?
Well, I'm a very modern person, actually. You know, on Twitter, like, you know, I have millions and millions of people at real Donald Trump, everybody. But I have millions of people, and the message gets across. It's incredible. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I have many millions of people, and it's a great way to communicate.
Okay, but with one particular ad, you go after Hillary. Have you, in your mind, gotten past the primary mentally, and are you now focused on Hillary?
No, not at all. I want to go one step at a time. Honestly, there's 17 people that are running as Republicans. Of the 17, there are 4 or 5 that could, you know, conceivably win, I would say. I think people will start dropping out pretty soon, and you look at some of them, and, you know, the thing that I was most complimented by, the ones that attacked me are the ones that are doing the worst, which is sort of interesting. They've all gone down the tubes, which tells you something. I mean, I'm very proud of that.
What do you think of the American people?
I love the American people. The American people are great, but they're not allowed to do what they want to do, and they're holding back this incredible energy, this incredible country. They're holding between regulations and truly stupid leadership in Washington. They're holding back this incredible pent-up energy. And when we release it, we will be great again.
All right. I want to talk about Donald Trump, the father. Most people don't look at you as a dad, but the truth is that you have 3 adult children who are incredibly successful. And unlike most or many of the kids of celebrities, they don't have any run-ins with the law. We're not talking drugs or alcohol. They come to work every day. They come to Fox occasionally without an entourage, no drama. To what do you attribute the success of your kids?
Well, I have good kids. I have 5 wonderful children, and they're good students, and they've all been very good students, and so in that sense I'm lucky, I mean, or whatever it is that it takes, but they've been good students, and they love, you know, the adult children, which is Don, Ivanka, and Eric. They love what they're doing, and they do it well.
Okay, but don't you give yourself some credit for that?
I do, and frankly, you know, I was always very strong. No drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes, right?
I remember.
No drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. And I've seen it where kids get stuck. Friends of mine, successful guys, in some cases very successful, and they have children that are very smart, but they're stuck on drugs or something. And you know, there's one thing I could tell the kids is no drinking, no, I mean, of any consequence, but no drinking and no drugs. I always throw in cigarettes because if you can avoid the cigarette, that'd be a great thing.
But what about you? In the 25 years that I've known you, I've never known you to drink alcohol.
I don't drink. Well, I just don't drink. I never had. My brother was an alcoholic. He was an amazing guy, handsome, the most handsome guy you've ever seen. He was the life of the party, Fred. He was an incredible guy, but he died of alcoholism. And when he would be with me, he was quite a bit older than me, and he would always lecture me. He said, I don't want you to drink, no drinking. And there was a big age difference, no drinking. And it meant a lot to me. And I saw how he ended up. He had such potential, such tremendous, I mean, the most handsome, the best personality of anybody, better than me. But really, I mean, just a great guy. And alcohol destroyed him. And I've seen it destroy so many people. And I learned from him. I mean, he was a great example to me, and he worked hard on it. He would always tell me no drinking. He'd say no cigarettes, too. He smoked and he drank.
Who was your mentor? Who are your heroes?
Well, more than anybody else, my father. He was a builder in Brooklyn and Queens, and he was a terrific negotiator, and I'd watch him. And, you know, he didn't teach me per se. He didn't say, this is the way you do it. But I'd be sitting down playing with blocks or something when I was a little kid, and I'd be hearing him on the phone negotiating with a plumber or an electrician or somebody. And that's why when I see, like, the deal we're making with Iran, how incompetent it is, how grossly incompetent, how bad it is, our negotiators are so bad. It's inconceivable to me.
What about the fact that, you know, your sister has now kind of been outed, Marianne, as this, you know, Circuit Court of Appeals judge, and obviously she's very bright, and that is just one court down from the United States Supreme Court. What does she think of your running?
Well, I have a sister who is a tremendous person. She was a great student. She went to Mount Holyoke. She was a terrific student, always a brilliant student, and she's a brilliant person. And she, you know, because of the fact that she's a high-ranking federal judge, she never did the publicity. She just doesn't want that. In fact, they did a beautiful story the other day in the New York Times on her, and she doesn't want to be even quoted in the story. It's really great. In fact, I said, you sure we have the same parents? What's going on? But she's a terrific person, and she's doing really well. She's highly respected by everybody.
And that's just the beginning. Coming up,
he apologized like a little baby, like a disgusting little weak, pathetic baby.
find out who he was talking about and what prompted that memorable line. You'll also hear his take on the Black Lives Matter movement. And I get Trump to open up about the woman who could be First Lady, his wife Melania. Part 2 of my interview is next. Democratic presidential candidate Martin O'Malley, when confronted last month by protesters from the group Black Lives Matter, said all lives matter. O'Malley then apologized for that comment. Take a look.
I believe what I first said was that Black Lives Matter before those other two phrases. And when I said those other two phrases, I meant no disrespect.
The subject came up in my sit-down with Donald Trump, and you're about to watch part 2 of that interview, where we talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as the hectic, busy life of a presidential candidate. You are everywhere. You don't look tired. Why?
Because I'm enjoying it. It's nice to be number one. We're going to set this nation on a new course. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be so good again. People are so discouraged. When you look at what's going on in Baltimore and Ferguson and St. Louis and all of the things,
how are you going to resolve it?
First of all, you need spirit. There's such a divide. I thought that Obama, the one thing I said, you know what? He's inexperienced. He doesn't know a lot about, he's never produced a job. But I said, one thing he's going to be a great unifier, because he had a chance to be a great unifier, and instead he's been a great divider. And the country needs spirit. The country does not have spirit. We're not proud anymore, and we have to be proud again.
So you will support law enforcement as opposed to some of the things that have been coming out of the White House?
Total support of law enforcement. You have to. And you can always have bad apples. I see things on television that I hate to see. It's horrible. It's horrible, and they're disgusting. That's a tiny little fraction. Law enforcement does an incredible job overall, and we have to support law enforcement. You can't let a city like Baltimore be ripped apart one evening. The first evening, they ripped the entire city apart. It'll take 20 years for it to come back the way they do it. I mean, the way it's happened. But they ripped that city apart in one night. You have to grab hold of your law enforcement and make sure they do a great job. But they have to be tough. They have to be tough. They have to be fair. They have to be tough. And you have to remember, and I said it, you're always going to have some bad apples. No matter where you go, you're going to have some bad apples. And that's going to happen. But we have to really support law enforcement.
What about the Black Lives Matter movement? I mean, what's your take on that whole thing?
Well, I know nothing about it. I'm seeing lots of bad stuff about it right now, actually. I thought when O'Malley made the statement that Black Lives, then he said white lives matter, all lives matter, and
he apologized.
And then he apologized like a little baby, like a disgusting little weak, pathetic baby. And that's the problem with our country. I don't even think when you say politically correct, I think it's politically incorrect what he did. How can that be politically correct? But when I watched him apologize, and then he had a news conference in front of my building in Las Vegas because he thought he was going to get publicity, it was actually just a good ad for me. But when I watched that whole thing going on and how they're pandering, I think it's a disgrace.
Well, one of the things that Americans see in you is someone who digs his heel in and doesn't apologize, irrespective of the political or considered politically correct
situation. Let me ask you this. How can you apologize when you say all Black lives matter, which is true.
Right.
White lives matter, which is true. All lives matter, which is true. And then they get angry because you said white and all.
Yeah.
We don't want you to mention that.
Right. Right.
What's there to apologize for?
Okay. Jury duty. You were excused. You wouldn't write down that you were a politician. What did you say that your employment was? I
said I'm in the real estate business. I'm a politician. Now, can you believe this? I never thought in a million years I'm a politician. So I will be a politician who will not be all talk, no action.
All right. This election is a long way away, 2016. Do you think there's a point when the honeymoon is over?
Probably, maybe. It's no honeymoon. This has been a tough time. Don't forget, when I announced the press covered me very inaccurately, because you are great and some others. Look, I've met some incredible political reporting and media, but a lot of it is very dishonest, and I was covered very dishonestly. I have great relationships with Mexico and the Mexican people, but they made it like they didn't report what I said. They reported half sentences, 1/3 of a sentence, and that was no honeymoon that first week and a half. Then it turned out it was illegal immigration, and it turned out I was right.
Right, and repeatedly
and now
you were being shown as
it's
being
become
right.
the biggest subject now.
I asked my Facebook followers what question they would put to you, and they said, ask Mr. Trump how he's going to deal with Congress. If he doesn't like them, is he going to just say, you're fired?
No, I'm not going to do that. I know many of these people. I've been dealing with them for many years. You know that. I've been a very political person. And frankly, if you can deal in New York City politics, you can probably deal anywhere in the world. I have huge, massive developments approved going through New York City zoning, where I have to deal with people that are, to put it mildly, very difficult. But I've been in politics all my life for a long time, for many years. And it's leadership. You have to get people to do, Ronald Reagan got along with Tip O'Neill. They were total opposites, but they had this great relationship in a certain way. They got things done. That'll happen with me, too. I won't need executive orders. That'll happen with me, too.
And with respect to those people in Congress, you're going to take them on the golf course, you're going to show them a way of life that they've never seen before?
Well, it's interesting. When Obama plays golf, I think it's fine. I think it's good. It's an important thing. It's a great tool. But he should be playing with Boehner, and he should be playing with people that are going to help him close the deal, as opposed to be playing with friends that, he might enjoy that even more. But you can use golf as a tool, and he should have used it as a tool. He would have signed far fewer, in my opinion, executive orders.
Okay, and finally, Vice President.
Well, it's just too soon.
I know, but as you look at the field, the other 16 or 17, is there anyone in that field, as they start building you up amazingly and agreeing with you, whether it's Cruz or Jindal or Walker, everybody's kind of coming to your side of things. Do you see a potential VP candidate among those other Republicans?
Well, that could be. Look, there are people that I have great respect for on that stage that we just left, where they gave me #1 rating. That was very good. That made me feel big. But frankly, there are people that I have great respect for, and
on that
there
stage.
And elsewhere.
On that
there
stage.
And on that stage too. I have people that I have great respect for.
Are you going to focus on the swing states that will make a difference?
You know what I'm going to focus on? I'm going to focus on the whole country, on making our country great, and that's what we have to do. I'm not going to focus on any specific place. I go to New Hampshire, I go to Iowa, I go to South Carolina. Every poll is coming in. New Hampshire #1, Iowa #1, South Carolina, Texas just came in. I'm #1 in Texas.
They love you in Texas.
I'm #1 in Florida. That just came in.
Where do you get this confidence from, Donald?
I don't think it's confidence. I think I just believe in what I'm doing. I don't even view it as confidence. I believe so strongly in what I'm doing. Our country, I love my company and my children, and we have fun, and I built a great company. Don't forget, people said, oh, maybe I'll never file. Then I filed my financials, and they were far greater than anybody ever thought possible even. It's an amazing company. It's got great cash flow. It's got everything. It's got the best properties. But there's something much more important going on, and that's the country. And I just think I'm going to do a great job. And when you say confidence, I don't think it's confidence. I just believe in what I'm saying. And we can turn this country around. We can create jobs. We have 93 million people unemployed. It's a phony statistic when they say 5.4%.
Right.
We have 93 million. We have millions and millions of people on food stamps, and just a terrible situation going on in this country. It's a phony reporting system where they can say 5.4. It could be 40%. The actual number could be actually 40%, and nobody wants to report it. I actually saw a report that said 42%. I always say 21% unemployment. We can turn that. We can take the jobs back from China. We can take the jobs back from Japan, from Mexico. Nabisco shouldn't be moving to Mexico. They should be building a new plant somewhere in our country.
Big question. Melania. She is beautiful. She's classy. She's stunning. I know her. When is America going to get a real look at Melania? And, she's an incredibly
She's a tremendous person.
Woman.
Yeah, she's a tremendous person. She was a very successful person, and she will be an amazing first. I've heard people say, I don't care if you're president, but she has to be first lady, which is sort of an interesting little statement to make. But she will
there
be,
it is, a man benefiting by the woman that he's with.
But she is a beautiful person, but she's a beautiful person in the heart. She cares tremendously about women's health issues. She has just a great, you know her very well.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a tremendous person. People will love her when they get to know her.
My thanks to GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump for a very revealing interview. And next we talk about it with former Senator Scott Brown, and then Sheriff David Clark, his take on Trump's comments on the Black Lives Matter movement and policing in America.